Greetings, car fanatics. Due to popular demand, I have a special video for you. If you've been following the channel, you know I have a love-hate relationship with my 2008 Porsche Cayenne Turbo. It's definitely a badass SUV, but it isn't quite cheap to own. And I recently went to the other end of the SUV spectrum and picked up this 2004 Lexus RX 330 for just $6,100. Yes, it's boring, but it has rock-solid reliability. So today, I'm going to compare these two very different SUVs and tell you which one I'd buy if I had to do everything all over again. So for this comparison, we'll be evaluating these cars based on styling, reliability, performance, comfort, utility, and value. So starting with styling, we can see that these two vehicles look significantly different. The Cayenne is a chiseled athlete that's very nice on the eyes. It looks upscale, and it's handsome even by today's standards, in my opinion. The Lexus, on the other hand, it kind of looks like an awkward bug. It has curves that are very feminine, and it has just this funny looking front fascia. While beauty is in the eye of the beholder, unless you really hate German cars, styling easily goes hands down to the Cayenne. Next, let's move on to reliability. If you follow my channel, you know how many times I've been trolled for buying my Cayenne, but the Cayenne really hasn't had any major problems. However, when things do break, you're going to pay an arm and a leg for it because of the Porsche premium tax. In just my Cayenne's 13 years of life, it's required nearly $11,000 in repairs for things like coolant leaks, failed pumps, and other miscellaneous things. So far, the Cayenne isn't scoring so well on the reliability front. Now let's go ahead and switch gears to the Lexus. You might think, of course, it's reliable. It's a Toyota, and you'd mostly be right. The Lexus has been very reliable, and the previous owner only had to perform routine maintenance. However, since my ownership, I've had already a few issues with the Lexus. The radiator fan went out, which led to overheating when the car was just sitting there idling. This cost me $350 to replace. Then one of the rear LED brake lights started to go out, and unfortunately you can't just change out the light bulbs, so I had to spend $75 to purchase a used tail light and replace that. And lastly, the rear trunk hatch is on its way out. Sometimes it works fine, other times it won't open or close at all. It's definitely going to need a new motor soon, which is going to set me back another couple $100. So in terms of reliability, the category definitely goes to the Lexus. But with that being said, the Cayenne is still pretty reliable for a vehicle of its class, and my particular Cayenne has had more issues than other people, so I just want to throw it out there. Alright, we're tied 1-1. Now let's move on to performance, which should be a no-brainer. Want to whip around the cul-de-sac and eject your kids as fast as you can? Of course, the Lexus is the faster vehicle. At 3,900 pounds, it weighs 1,300 pounds lighter than my Cayenne Turbo. But once you get outside the safety of the neighborhood, this is where the gloves come off and the Cayenne really gives the Lexus a beating. Check out this brute of an engine on the Cayenne. It puts out a whopping 500 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque, which is over double the Lexus's output of 230 horsepower and 242 foot-pounds of torque. Additionally, despite the Cayenne's weight, it's the better vehicle in the twisties. It definitely feels much heavier than the Lexus, but it stays more planted and composed in the corners while the Lexus just slops around. Additionally, the Cayenne has excellent steering feel and powerful brakes. When it's time to venture off the pavement, the Cayenne continues to set itself apart from the Lexus and other SUVs. My Cayenne is equipped with all-wheel drive, a low-range transfer case, a locking center differential, fancy torque vectoring, and adjustable air suspension. As a result, the Cayenne is an extremely capable off-roader and can hold its own in the snow. With all of this said, however, the Lexus is still a legitimate SUV. I mean, just look how easily it traverses this difficult terrain. So performance-wise, the Cayenne wins hands down, but let's see if the Lexus can catch up in the comfort department. Starting with the Cayenne, we can see that it's a nice place to be in. It's super comfortable, it's luxurious, and it's overall well built. Up front, you have plenty of legroom and headroom. You also have plush leather seats with memory on both the driver and the passenger side. In the rear, there's plenty of space for normal-sized adults as well. The Cayenne's interior is also very luxurious, especially when you go with the full leather interior, which came standard on the Turbo and Turbo S models. You have leather pretty much covering all the important surfaces like the dashboard and the door cards. Moving over here, my Cayenne actually has the optional heated steering wheel, which is nice in the winter. And then as we look at the A-pillar over here, you have the beautiful Alcantara that goes all the way from the A-pillars up to the headliner, and that leads you up to either a standard or a panoramic moonroof. Let me highlight a few more unique features. I really love that the driver and the passenger both have dual visors. Now, you might think this is just a little thing, but when you're driving all the time and you're having to move your visor from the front to the side to block out the sun, it's just a little bit annoying. So I really have come to appreciate these. The Cayenne will also keep you and your passengers extremely comfortable. My Cayenne has the optional 4-zone climate control that allows the driver and the passengers to individually adjust the temperature, fan speed, and even the seat warmers for their corner of the car. So you can be assured that you and your passengers will not only arrive to your location in style, but also in comfort. And lastly, the Cayenne has another party trick worth mentioning on the comfort side. It's got a refrigerated glove box so you can keep all of your snacks cold on your trips. How awesome is that? Now let's jump into the Lexus. Size-wise, the Lexus is shorter and narrower than the Cayenne. Up front, you have plenty of space, but you do have a little less headroom and shoulder width than the Cayenne. In the back, this is really where the Lexus really stands out. You have so much space back here, and the seats even recline. How awesome is that? It's so comfortable back here that you could literally have a nice nap on a road trip. Moving inside the cabin, the interior is in decent shape. You can tell that the interior was really nice when the car was new, but the interior hasn't held up as well as the Cayenne's. The leather has some noticeable wear marks on it, and you can also see that the dashboard has cracks in it. There was a recall for this, but the previous owner never took advantage of that. Now let's cover the various convenient features on the Lexus. For a 2004 and at this price point, the Lexus has a bunch of nice features as standard. The steering column is electronically adjusted and even tilts out of your way to help you get in and out of the car. It also has automatic headlights and windshield wipers. As far as the infotainment and the center stack area goes, you have an Ode radio with a CD player. However, I do have Bluetooth retrofitted so I can stream music to the car. We have a dual zone climate control, which works well. It's not as good as the Cayenne's 4-zone climate control, but this is completely adequate. We also have heated seats. Moving up, we have an auto dimming mirror as standard, which the Cayenne doesn't even have. We also have a convenient sunglass holder just like the Cayenne, and we have a decent sized sunroof. Moving over to sun visors, we have a vanity light with a dimmer switch. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never had to use a dimmer switch for picking my nose, but perhaps this is helpful when you're putting on makeup. And while the Lexus doesn't have dual visors like the Cayenne, the visor does slide at least, and this pretty much blocks out the sun and keeps it from hitting the side of your face. We have a few more comfort features to highlight. The Lexus has one-touch up and down windows, just like the Cayenne, and when you put the car in reverse, you'll notice here that not just the passenger side mirror tilts, but both of the mirrors tilt. This is really awesome if you're parallel parking your car on a one-way street because you can easily see how close you are to the curb on either side of the vehicle. Now, while the Cayenne's party tricks are in the performance category, the Lexus party tricks come in the form of storage. This car is like a magician that can make all of your junk disappear. You have these really nice cup holders in the center which can easily fit big and small drinks. This is much better than the cup holders on the Cayenne, which can really only fit standard 12-ounce size water bottles. You also have a cup holder right by the steering wheel, which is really convenient. Moving back to the center console area, you have this big storage area, which is all too perfect for accommodating your junk. As a result, my storage compartment is just extremely messy, but fortunately, Lexus thought about this. All you have to do is press this button, and this cover slides and conceals the mess. You also have nice sized pockets on the doors which open up. It's nice and deep and really easy to grab stuff out of, unlike the door pockets on the Cayenne. Let's hop in the back and check out what passenger comfort is like. Back here you have plenty of legroom, especially with the design of the front seat backs. The theme of storage definitely continues in the back. We have this center storage compartment with cup holders for the passengers. So let's sum up the comfort category because we covered a lot. The Cayenne definitely feels more premium and solid, and it's a nice, luxurious place to be in. But for me, the Lexus interior is just more practically designed and comes with numerous convenient features as standard, which really sets this apart. You can tell that Lexus really went above and beyond when they designed the interior space to really make the Lexus as practical and comfortable as possible. So I'm definitely going to give comfort to the Lexus. Alright, so we're tied 2-2. Let's move on to utility. To me, utility means the ability to move stuff around. Now, both of these vehicles do seat 5, so in terms of people utility, they both carry the same amount. However, let's talk about cargo carrying capacity. Starting with the Cayenne, with the seats folded up, the hatch has 19 cubic feet of space for storage. If you fold down the seats, the cargo space increases to 62 cubic feet. Now I'm 5'8" and I can fully lay down with the seats folded. This is pretty good, but for a vehicle of its size, I do expect the cargo space to be a little bit larger. It appears that Porsche stuffed a lot of stuff into the walls of the car, and this just takes away some space from the interior. The Lexus, on the other hand, is a smaller vehicle, but the way it's designed actually allows it to have more storage capacity than the Cayenne. It packs a whopping 38 cubic feet of storage with the seats up. And when you fold the seats down, the storage increases to nearly 85 cubic feet of space. This is significantly larger than the Cayenne's cargo space, and it's really amazing to see how much thought Lexus put into the design of the vehicle. In addition, Lexus has these hidden storage compartments in the trunk. You just press these buttons and they open right up, and you can accommodate a bunch of stuff in the space. So far, when it comes to utility, it is not looking great for the Cayenne. However, the Cayenne does have one redeeming quality about it. The Cayenne is rated to tow up to 7,700 pounds, while the Lexus can only tow up to 3,500 pounds. So overall, while the Lexus has more space for storage inside the car, the Cayenne can tow a bigger trailer. So in terms of utility, I'm going to have to call this a draw, and we're still tied at 2-2. So to settle the match, we're going to move to the final category, which is value. For value, I'm just considering the purchase price of the vehicle as well as the operating cost. I'm not including maintenance expenses because that's really factored into the reliability category. For the Porsche Cayenne, you can buy a used one anywhere between $7,000 to $15,000 on average based on the year and the trim. Of course, you can go with the newer, lower mileage, higher end model like a Turbo S, and that's going to set you back well over 20 grand, but most people purchase the S trim in various years, and those can be had between $7,000 to $15,000. Surprisingly, a used Lexus RX 330 or RX 350 isn't significantly cheaper than a used Cayenne. According to Car Gurus, a used RX 330 ranges anywhere between $6,000 to $8,000. However, I think this is a bit high. You can definitely find them for cheaper. Just quickly browsing through the results, you can see here that there are plenty Lexus RX 330s in the $4,000 to $6,000 range. Of course, the really cheap ones are going to be in pretty bad shape, so it's important that you don't just go out and buy the cheapest vehicle you can find. Instead, you're going to have to test drive a few and find which one drives the best, and definitely go ahead and spend a little bit more to buy a vehicle that's sorted and in good condition, because it's most likely going to be cheaper than buying a beater that needs a little bit of work. While the Lexus is the cheaper car to buy, the Cayenne technically is a better value because it can be had for just a fraction of the original cost. The typical Cayenne was around $70,000 brand new, and if you could purchase one for about $8,000, you're buying a vehicle at about 11% of the original price. On the other hand, a typical Lexus RX 330 was around $38,000 brand new, and it's probably going to set you back around $6,000, so you're buying that vehicle at about 16% of the original price. So technically, the Cayenne is a better value from a price perspective. However, we do have to factor in the operating cost of both of these vehicles. The Cayenne is definitely more expensive to operate than the Lexus. For one, it's a gas guzzler and averages only around 16 miles per gallon in mixed driving. On the other hand, the Lexus can easily get about 23 miles per gallon in mixed driving, and it also uses regular gas, so this is going to save you a bunch of money. The Cayenne also goes through tires and brakes a lot more quickly than the Lexus, and general maintenance is more expensive on a Porsche than it is a Lexus, so hands down, in terms of operating costs, the Lexus is significantly cheaper. With everything considered, I have to say that the Lexus wins hands down in the value department. So there you have it, car fanatics. This was a close race, but the Lexus edges out the Cayenne and wins 3-2. If I had to do everything over again and could only purchase one car, it would be the Lexus over the Cayenne. While the Lexus isn't sexy nor fast, it's practical. It'll get you from point A to point B safely, reliably, and in comfort. So unless you really value performance, stick with the Lexus and save yourself some money and headaches. But this is just my opinion. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments below. If you had to pick, which vehicle would you go with and why? Well, thanks for watching Car Fanatics. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit that bell notification icon so you're notified each time I upload a new video. And if you're looking for more car content and DIYs, check out my new website, www.ecarguides.com. Leave any questions or comments below, and thanks for watching.